Okay. You know, I'm always hesitant to do a video when I'm in a terrible mood, and I just wanted to put something up so that I don't have like an empty space of a day. Something happened earlier that just has made me so frustrated, but I don't even know if I feel like doing this, but hi, here I am. So, from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. Is it upside down? Of course it is. Okay. I pulled number 57. And what is it? Unmarked Trail. And the subtitle is Revelation. So, you know, this looks like sort of like stacked stones that you'll see in nature, because that's where you'll notice them, I guess. I don't know. But thing about this is it also looks like plates and bowls stacked, which is weird. Like, why are those out on the sand if that's what that's on, sitting on? Nope, not sand. A maze of hedges? I'm not sure what the heck's going on there. Let's see. You know, in a way, it looks like a spiral from the bottom. Something about this side suggests that it's not just a stack. It's a piece, like one whole piece that's going around and around and getting smaller. And then I don't know what's happening here in the middle. And then like the same thing going up on the other side of the thing. I don't know what it is. I don't even know what the heck that means. Although, as above, so below came to mind. I don't know why. I don't know if it's applicable here. But the stones are mirroring each other, if that's what they are. Like, I don't even know what the heck these things are. I mean, they look like stones, but who knows? Why is it so big? Why is it in the garden? Look at the ground. Doesn't it not look like hedges or something? Like a hedge maze? Or some fancy garden? But there's like a sun shimmer. It's not really doing it on this side, but there's like a sun shimmer here. And that makes it kind of look like water. I don't like all this ambiguity. What is happening here? Yeah, I can't even tell the scale of this, because if you look, it's either a doorway or a window that this is sitting in. If it's a door, this thing is pretty big. If it's a window, I guess it makes more sense, but none of this makes sense. Is it, there's hedges in the house? In the castle? Because those look like stones. They don't look like planks or sheetrock. I'm very confused by this. And so is the background. The background doesn't know. What is it? Morning, evening, and I swear, every time I look at these things, even in the same like 5 minutes, I see different things than I saw the previous 5 minutes. What I thought I had seen earlier was the sort of image of a sun, or the sun, behind clouds, but now I don't see anything circular on either side, and I'm wondering, what was I looking at, and where did it go? I don't know. Maybe that's the whole point of this place. It's like a fun house. Like, look at those silly rocks. How the heck is that staying that way? Are they like crazy glued together? Is there a central spine or something? I don't want any interruptions. And here's some more confusion, a little bit. Things are really, really green that are growing, as if they're well watered and they get all the nutrients they need. I noticed, as I'm about to put this card down because it's frustrating me, there seems to be water, like this is some sort of arty fountain or something. Arty fountain. I don't know. And see, now don't even. Oh my God. Okay, that's enough of that. I'm not sure what's happening with it. It's actually irritating me, so I'm going to read and see what the book says. Unmarked Trail. An unprecedented experience. Discovery, revelation. You are called now to embark on a sacred journey. The Arthurian knights, in their quest for the Holy Grail, had to make sure to take an unmarked trail that no one had ever followed, or they would not accomplish their goal. So I should have stopped way before I'm stopping now, but I guess I wanted to finish the sentence at least. It's talking about Arthurian knights in their quest for the Holy Grail. All I needed to hear was Arthurian knights. Did you not hear me say that it looked like somebody's garden? Brits are crazy for their gardens, and the decorative ones, like the royal gardens and that, although this has more of an Asian feeling to me, but they could have an Asian garden in the British royal garden. I have no doubt they have sections like that. So, oh God, you remember I said as above, so below? Note and mirroring. Note the hedges, and then hi, note the hedges. What is happening here? So the mirroring, now it kind of makes sense, and it also kind of makes the background make more sense. This is a mirroring, this is a reflection thing here. So it's not just one whole piece. It's about, it ends here, right? It ends halfway, and then the rest of it is just reflected. I don't know where from or where at. I mean, I guess that fountain water I was talking about. Well, that was a revelation. Well, kind of. I mean, I said it before I saw it, so I don't know how revelatory it was, but there you go. Well, now it's more interesting, that's for sure. So the Arthurian part. Earlier, I was watching, I think, Weird History channel on YouTube. Maybe that was it. But they were talking about the Arthurian legend, and supposedly King Arthur was born in Tintagel in England, and then this show found evidence to the fact that there was an Arthur there, and it's a ruin now. But they found like ancient scratchings on the wall, like I don't know, like a kid would do, I guess. And it was the old English, I guess, some old language version of Arthur, and it was like Arthur or something like that. But I guess the host knew, because she was from the British Isles. She knew whereof she spoke. I'm just following along and trying to figure out, wait, are they saying this thing is real? And I shouldn't be surprised by that, because a lot of things that we think are myth and legend just have become that way because of the passage of time, and it's just not fresh, and it seems old and ancient, but maybe it's not that old. But this was old. They said it was like the 6th century that this, and it was a castle, It was falling down. I mean, there was barely walls. Forget roof. I don't know if there was like multi-levels, but what there was ground floor with no roof and walls that were so decayed and falling down that they were, you know, they didn't meet the ceiling, and they were like different levels, as if they were blasted out. Like by, did they have cannons in 6 whatever? Catapults? I don't know what they had, but something took the walls out of that place, and they were, what are you doing? Thick stones. Hold on one second. Okay. So, and then the story went further. Like, they found these ruins, and they found this writing that appeared to be a version of Arthur, which is interesting that I happened to turn that phrase. I'll get there. I have something to say about that. So they found some further information in this show. I don't know if it was Weird History after all, because you could actually see the host talking, so everything's just kind of mushed together in my brain. So it was some other show, but I clicked on it. I think I'm pretty sure, because it says something about the King Arthur legend. And I just saw this past week they found, I guess archaeologists, they found a sword embedded in stone that no one could pull out. So, points for the Arthur story being real. But they followed some information that they investigated and ended up in Scotland. And then they found another place that has local legends from, I mean, I don't know, like, I think they said this place was 1500 or something like that, 1600. I don't know if it's the same Arthur. One can't be born in 600 or whatever and then be still alive in 15 or 1600 whatever. That makes no sense. Except that in Scotland there was this place found that now it looks like it's grown over with grass, but it's pretty low. And it's a circular thing happening, and it looked to me like there was another ring that was not just a mere line, you know, it was like a centerpiece, like a big thing. And so, then they started talking about how Arthur was the king, but and normally the king would sit at the head of the table to discuss like war matters and matters of state with his knights. But he didn't want to be like separate from everyone that way. So his plan was to make a round table so that everyone was at an equal sort of footing. And this overgrown thing, long buried, like centuries buried. I believe they did some sort of probably X-ray search of that area, like, because you can see there's something there under the grass. The grass is not very, you know, it's not like totally tall. It's relatively short, so you can see pretty clearly that there's like a couple of concentric rings and some other stuff inside of the rings happening. And I don't remember now exactly if she said it was like a euphemism or just what they actually meant, but the round thing in the land under the grass is called the round table. So, I mean, that is a euphemism for it, I guess, right there. But they did do like the X-ray search, and there was indeed some kind of round table-like thing under there. And then further along in the show, they go to this castle in Stirling, Stirling, which I'd never heard of until today, I don't think. And there was another ruin there of castle, and that's where Arthur was supposedly built. Yeah, he's a kid. Where he was born. So I don't know how he did that twice unless there was more than one Arthur. Hold on. There's more about that. I'm getting to it. So they're like, oh, okay. Well, then they're trying to like reconcile the other place in England in Tintagel, and then they find this place in Stirling, and I think he was known to be there, the Arthur that they're thinking of, after he would have been a child, like born somewhere else, possibly. And there was a saying that was, I guess, still in use, according to the show, in Scotland, where someone was referred to as an Arthur, and it would be like an upstanding, you know, a person that was admirable in the way of King Arthur, like, you know, like not a Karen, but an Arthur. You get it? So, that was interesting, that all this Arthurian stuff came along before I got here. And then this starts talking about it with its lush royal garden, you know, with its exotic styling. To carry on. Okay, so the last line I read was about the Arthurian knights taking the less traveled trail looking for the grail, the Holy Grail. And after okay, so let's put a period on that and move on to the next sentence. Gosh, it's hard to move on. Likewise, you must enter the darkest forest of your soul by a route as yet unidentified to find what you seek. Man, that just was so bad. You are called now to embark on a sacred journey. The Arthurian knights, in their quest for the Holy Grail, had to make sure to take an unmarked trail that no one had ever followed, or they would not accomplish their goal. Likewise, you must enter into the darkest forest of your soul via a route as yet unidentified to find what you seek. The manicured paths will bring you only temporary pleasure and later great pain. Stop it. You already know there is no reward at the end of the road you're following. You're only killing time. Wow. Pause, breathe, and commit in your heart to a sacred endeavor. Vow to not look for old solutions that may have worked with past challenges. Get out of character, try the outrageous, and keep your quest private. Now is not the time to speak of the voice that called you to embark on the unmarked trail. That time will come. The unmarked trail can be a sign that you have already made a choice, even if you do not want to acknowledge it. Be at peace with what your heart knows to be true. Your heart has already been made up, and your mind will follow. Pack lightly, taking with you only essential beliefs that you know to be trustworthy under all circumstances. The universe has your back. Okay. Well, if you have an unmarked trail, maybe you make one. This card I pulled from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, the spider. And I'm just going to dive right into what the book has to say, because, yeah. Creator of prosperity through life's work, Dharma, which is living in flow with what the universe is doing and not bucking the pattern. I mean, you can, but I don't think that's Dharma. Or, you know, maybe it is, because it's all life. That's not important now. We don't need to go into that deep study. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of Dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It's hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us creativity is everywhere. Be process-oriented rather than results-oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance follows. When in balance, appreciative, enthusiastic, prosperous. When out of balance, discouraged, tired, forlorn. To bring into balance, playful creativity. Just imagine the kind of things you could write on the web if you had the capability to write in web fabric, in web thread. So they ended up being pretty similar after all. If we're talking about the Knights of the Templar, or sorry, these are Arthurian Knights, but oh, that's way before the Templars too, I think. Anyway, the Knights searching for the Grail. That's pretty smart of them to not go look where everybody else always already looked. I mean, I don't even know if it's pretty smart. It's probably just common sense. You're not going to go dig in a hole that's already been dug, right? I don't think. I don't know. I'm not in the hole digging business. I couldn't tell you. But, you don't want to see that. That's wordy. So this suggests that part about not going down the already traveled path in search of something new. This is whatever the traveled path was. It could have been the day before or 2 days before, but spider webs get destroyed constantly. And so they're constantly having to replace them and write new stories and take new routes to that end. So what is it telling me? What it's telling me is do something radically different than what you have been doing. Challenge yourself, because sometimes I know I can't think of something new to do, and it really is like I have to go beyond the confines of my own preferences and things and find something that'll sort of shake me out of my malaise. Well, I mean, I think it is a kind of malaise if you have a routine, especially if it's like a job type routine. You get sick of that pretty quick unless you're fortunate enough to have a job that you enjoy, and that is not having a job that's a challenge to you is one thing, because you may want a challenge, but having a job that's challenging, nobody wants that. But the idea that you're starting from nothing and just making it new again, or it's new to you, that seems healthy. That seems like a goal, a goal that you could pursue, you know, with a good outcome. And this also talks about those paths that are untraveled, although the paths are all there for these guys. They don't get to, like, etch-a-sketch away the roads, the past roads they traveled. I mean, they're knights, so they probably did a lot of fighting and things, and they probably left damage, collateral damage, corpse damage, you name it. But I mean, they could see where they've been. You could almost say that there's so much that they left on the ground behind, and stains, you know, like blood or whatever. Hard not to miss, I guess, is what I'm saying. So this is sort of a more intelligent and less freeform sort of a search. Well, it's not a search. It is a creation of that spider. However often they have to replace that web, it's up to them to choose the design. And I'm wondering if it doesn't have to do with like where they decided to hang their web for structural integrity. Spider would know better than I. And this, well, it takes a certain mindset to find ways to go somewhere that no one has found previously. It's almost like reaching into the mist and pulling out information, which is kind of interesting. But I think going forward, in my country at least, both of these are, I think, good ways of thinking about newness and change in a way that most of us probably really haven't. I mean, I don't automatically think of it that way. I'm aware that that happens, but this feels like it comes, both of these, at the end of a cycle where you've finished out a bunch of routine stuff, the boring stuff that you are like done with, like been there, done that already, okay? I don't need to revisit the same, you know, dishwasher job that I've had for 12 years. That's just an example, but wouldn't you think that would be tedious after 12 years? So you have to get out of your comfort zone and shake off your old, you know, spoor, your old dead skin, and refresh yourself with some new experiences. It could be very straight and black and white and no funny business, or it could be really freeform and creative. But whichever way we pick to go forward are both gonna land on some point in your future that they were already headed there. That was already the intention for them. But it's just something to keep in mind, because I don't know if you've noticed, but the world is in a state of flux right now, so you kind of gotta keep your wits about you, listen a little bit, and maybe break out your fancy footwork so you can be ready for sudden moves. Anyway, wow, who knows what's going to happen remains to be seen. Thank you and good night.